Hey guys, it's Dave from Capital Edge Financial Planning, and I thought I'd take a little walk today for today's video blog. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I put together a video a couple weeks ago and I didn't like it. I had it all ready to go, but it didn't speak to me. I wasn't passionate about it, and this is the video that I wanted to send out to you guys. The trouble is, I've been procrastinating. This is a hard story for me because it's a little emotional and a little vulnerable about it, but I wanted to get this out to you guys, and so it's a little story. So as many of you know, from about 7 years ago, I wrote an article that talked about this, and I would say of all the different articles that I've sent out, this one was the most responded to. I've had people years afterwards ask me about it, and so I thought I'd circle back and just kind of give you a little more perspective about this. The story begins about 7 years ago. My wife Tracy and I were conquering the world. We were young, we were healthy, we had stable finances, a successful business, we were traveling, just amazing parts of the world, and we could do no wrong. Everything was going great. Yeah. And then Tracy had her annual physical in October of 2013. So at the time, she wasn't scheduled for a mammogram. It's every 2 years. In 2013, she wasn't scheduled for her mammogram. But the doctor said, hey, do you want to get a mammogram anyway? I mean, it's up to you. And I can say that most people would say, nah, I'm good. I don't need to do that. We did that last year. It was fine. So, no history of cancer, family history of cancer, young, healthy, everything was good. But she decided, why not? I'm not paying for it. Let's get a mammogram. So she goes to get her mammogram. Doctor calls back about a week later, says, you know what? We see something suspicious. We want you to get an ultrasound. So, all right, let's see what the ultrasound has to say. So she goes to get the ultrasound, and doctor follows up and say, you know what? We want you to come into the office. We want to discuss the results with you. So this is where our entire lives changed. I will never forget the appointment to the doctor's office and going to see her doctor to get the results. I don't think anyone can really prepare for that, really. And had I known what I know now, I would have taken a little bit more seriously. But go to the doctor's office, and doctor walks in trying to get a read as far as, okay, is this good news, is this bad news? And yeah, like, it was just chilling when the doctor just flat out says, you know what, got the results back, you got cancer, breast cancer. So what do you say? What do you think? I can't imagine what Tracy was thinking. You only know what your history is, and I had no history of breast cancer or friends that had breast cancer. So what's this going to mean? Surgery? Okay. Chemo? Sure. Okay. I've seen that on TV. No problem. But the other thing was the type of cancer. It was a very aggressive form of cancer that she was diagnosed with. So let's just put it this way. In October, there was no lumps. You could not feel anything. By January of 2014, her surgery date, it had gone from basically 0 to the size of a quarter in size. So that's how aggressive it was. So this wasn't supposed to happen to us. Like, we were healthy. We ate right. Cancer happens to other people, not us. It happens to old people. It happens to unfit people. It doesn't happen to us. And lo and behold, there we were, setting up surgery dates and trying to figure, okay, well, what does this look like as far as recovery? How does it look like for the business? Because one of the things you might not know is that Tracy was working for me. She was the office manager. She was dealing with the administration side for the business. So not only was I losing my partner, I was losing my support staff. So fortunately, there was another person to help out with that and fill the gap. But I had no idea. And it's sad when I jokingly say about this. I had no idea anything about breast cancer in late 2013. By early 2014, I was an expert. I knew everything when it came to lymph glands, lumpectomies, surgeries, medications. I knew, not wanting to know, but because of the countless appointments and doctor's appointments, lab tests and everything, and just meeting after meeting with doctors, and the emotional roller coaster that you go through with that. It's hard. And trying to be a supportive partner while still running a business, like, it was stressful. So, and trying to put on a happy face and, hey, everything's okay, we're gonna be fine. And trying to deal with the regular day-to-day business, it was a struggle. So her first surgery was in early January. First surgery. Got the results back. Not too good. We didn't get it. So then she had to go in for a second surgery. Goes in for the second surgery, and okay, we think we got it. Now you get to start the chemo journey. 6 rounds of chemotherapy, followed by 6 weeks of radiation. So basically 2014 is going to be a complete write-off. Like, this is it. We're dealing with the cancer, obviously. What we didn't know was after the first surgery, after the first chemo, how negatively she would react. And she had a extremely bad infection, which caused her to be in the hospital for a month. So this is where shit hit the fan. How to deal with your wife who's in the hospital and trying to run a business and trying to be supportive. It is, once again, stressful. So they didn't know what was going on. And this is one of the things about modern medicine that I learned about as well. We have a lot of technology, but we don't have all the answers. So sometimes things like that happen. But they threw the kitchen sink at her because of the aggressiveness of the cancer, and it didn't go over too well. So we had to take a step back before going to round 2. So to give you some perspective, or a little bit of a backstory as well, being a financial planner, I set up Tracy with a proper financial plan when we first started dating. Actually, this was when I first started in the industry. It was a condition of our relationship, is to have a proper financial plan. So she did have a critical illness policy. She did have a disability policy. $50,000 was her critical illness policy, set up when she was 29 years old. $26 per month was the premium on that, and it paid out $50,000 tax-free when we needed it, which was right now. So we got the money, which was a huge relief as far as financial stability. So If I wanted to take some time off work, which was great, we had to hire a housekeeper, someone to help with the meals as far as cooking and the housekeeping and whatnot, because all of a sudden I was wearing a lot more hats aside from just financial planner. I was also a caregiver, support system, all that fun stuff. And the last thing we should be dealing with is cleaning the house. So that was helpful, as well as paying off bills. One of the medications that she needed for every chemo round is a drug called Neulasta. It's about the size of your thumbnail, and it's $1,300 to get your white blood cells up before the next chemo round. So all these expenses or medications that were not covered by Alberta Healthcare, you had to pay. So that was also imperative. So even though Tracy was the one that was diagnosed, it affected the entire family, or affected us, because it's not as if I could just say, go have a good day at the Cross Cancer today, I'm gonna go to work, or hey, I'm gonna continue as I am, you do you. It doesn't work like that. And I can honestly say one of the more frustrating parts through the whole process, aside from the not knowing of what's going on or if everything's gonna be okay, was talking with clients about critical illness with my wife in the hospital with an unknown infection or going through the chemotherapy process, and the clients saying, nah, we'll deal with that later. It sounds expensive. Well, we don't want to do that. We'll deal with this next year. Maybe after the kids graduate or something. Insert excuse here. It would piss me off as I'm driving back from the Cross Cancer and having a client say, nah, I'm in good health, as my wife is sitting there in the Cross Cancer getting chemotherapy, who had perfect health before, and trying to convince people, hey, do you think that we signed up for this? It would drive me nuts, and I would just shake my head like, you think that we wanted this? I would get frustrated because I knew what they were thinking. Hey, I'm in control of my life. I have control over my business. I have control over my health. I'm not going to get cancer. Once again, that's what happens to other people. And trying to convince them that it can happen. Shit happens, right? So back and forth from the hospital I went every single day, and dealing with my wife, who was going through chemo, watching her get weaker and weaker with every chemo round, and seeing the emotional toll it took on her as she's losing her hair, losing her eyebrows, losing her eyelashes, losing her femininity, and just the stress and the depression that it takes on a person. And I understand, like, no money is going to make that better, but it's stressful. And one of the things that I wish that I had done was to take 6 months off work. Hey, forget the business. I'm going to look after my wife. So this is one of the things I'm not proud of, is I wish I would have taken the time to tend to my wife and make sure that she's looked after. So after a year after being diagnosed with breast cancer, 6 rounds of chemotherapy, 6 weeks of radiation therapy, Tracy was done. Her chemotherapy treatment. That's it. You're done. We have nothing left to do, and you have a clean bill of health. But what does that actually mean? It means trying to recover your normal lifestyle, which is never the same. One of the side effects of the radiation is that because of the radiation was, it was her left breast, the radiation was inches from her heart. Every single radiation treatment was also affecting her heart. And I forget the exact percentage, but her cardiovascular capacity was not anywhere near what it was before. So going up the stairs, any kind of cardiovascular was not the same. So she had the cardio capacity of a 70, 80-year-old, and she was 44 at the time. So huge effect. Also for us, I'm not proud to say this, but we weren't the same. It affected our relationship. So what happened? I'm not proud to say it. We separated in September of 2016. And from there, the cancer came back in early 2017. So not good news. She was given a couple months, and unfortunately she passed away in September of 2017. So from being on top of the world, conquering goals and objectives in 2013, to losing your life partner in 2017. As a financial planner, I had it all mapped out. I had it all planned, but you know what? Sometimes it doesn't happen, and sometimes shit happens, unfortunately. So no one wakes up. This is one of the things I often say. No one wakes up and says, you know what? I think I'm gonna have a heart attack today. You know what? I'm gonna get cancer today. It doesn't work like that. That's why we plan. And I can tell you this, you can't get house insurance after your house is burnt down. You can't get life insurance after you've been diagnosed with cancer or a heart attack. It's extremely difficult. This is why we plan once again. So if you're an employee and you have a family that's dependent on you, you need to get critical illness insurance. If you're a self-employed business owner with employees and a family to look after, you need to get critical illness insurance. If you're alone and by yourself and you have no other support system, no one to look after you in case you can't work, you need to get critical illness insurance. Take it from me. It's not something that we like to talk about, but this is why we have insurance. Are you going to rely on a GoFundMe page in case something happens? Plan. No one wants it to happen, but sometimes it does. So anyway, that's my story. Hopefully you guys can take some notes. If you have any questions about critical illness, or if you want to get some quotations, like, just give me a call, send me an email, let me know. I'd be glad to help. But once again, don't just assume it's not going to happen to you. I didn't think it was going to happen to me. Look what happened. Anyway, that's it. Hopefully you guys are keeping well. Talk to you soon.